Hello and welcome everyone, Soap the Duck here, and I thought with the release of Redlynx's latest addition to the Trials range of games, I thought I'd give us a quick review of the last couple of games that they've released over the last few years. First up we have got Trials HD, followed by Trials Fusion. Unfortunately, because Trials Evolution was never made backwards compatible, I don't have any footage of that. However, I do have footage, and what I like about both the games that have come so far, we've got Trials Rising coming out in the next 24 hours, so I wanted to have a little recap of exactly what they have to offer so far. So for those of you that haven't had a chance to play either of those games or haven't come across and seen them before, I would highly recommend you going back and having a look at them, having a play with them. They're absolutely fantastic games, really good fun to play. So without further ado, let's make a start and have a look at what Trials HD has to offer.
Get ready to rock and roll, trial style, baby! Yeah!
Trials HD, then released in 2009 on console for the first time, offered gamers the ability to ride your motorcycle in various different courses, varying in different difficulty, as you've just seen. There's lots and lots of tracks available. Obviously the idea of the game, for those of you that have not played, is to try and achieve the fastest time possible after choosing whichever bike you think would be most suitable with the fewest number of faults. So a fault is a crash where you have to reset back to the latest checkpoint. So just having a look through here on the beginners page, there's lots and lots of different tracks to choose from. It always records your best time with the fewest faults. Obviously, like I say, bike selection can be crucial to how you actually get along. There's quite a few to choose through. The 250cc's are always going to be most people's choices because they're the most powerful and some of the easiest ones to use. This obviously, as a track, is relatively basic and straightforward, but it gives you an idea of how fast the game flows, the types of challenges that you're going to come across. This particular bike's probably not the best suited for this track, as it's designed for more of the trial side of things, getting over logs and up steep ramps. This would be far more suited to the Scorpion, the other 250cc motorcycle. But as you can see there, in 25 seconds, that's that map finished, and it will come up at the end here and tell you how many faults you had and what time it is, and you can also see how well your friends are doing and how you compare to the other players across the world. Moving then into the easy tracks, again you've got a large selection of tracks to choose from, exactly the same staple for bikes. Some tracks actually allow you to use only particular bikes, and you'll see that as we go through this video, but you've got a huge selection to choose through. You've got also an additional games and additional maps to play through, as indicated by the little star signs there next to each of the track names. So with the feature of having the add-ons, you get to play more maps as well, again allow you to set more times with your friends and challenge them. Next up then we have one of the easy level tracks, and this will start to demonstrate that the need to be able to not just accelerate and brake, but you need to be able to lean the character forwards and backwards to get the bike to move in different directions, and actually being able to feather the accelerator and feather the brake to control the way in which the bike maneuvers. You start to need to be able to master these skills to actually allow you to achieve the fastest times. As you'll see at the end here, one of the parts of this game that I absolutely love, and it is throughout every single map and track that the Redlynx produced, is when you die at the end. You've done your best, you've achieved your goal of beating your time, and then you die. And it's just the little parts like that that I really love about this game. Moving on to the medium tracks now. As you'll notice, as you progress through the game, there are more and more tracks available, so medium has more than easy and easy has more than beginner, and it goes like that. This is where you start to now have to put into practice more and more skill level to achieve a much faster time, and as you'll see here on the clip, you've now got to be careful of gaps going through. You can bang your head on this game. Again, the physics, as you can see, are now really starting to be put into action, where you have to actually flip the bike and really start to move the bike around to get it to go up that particular ramp or over that particular object. And again, as you can see from here, you know, if you're not happy with it, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a fast time, just restart yourself. You can either go back to the last checkpoint, you've just seen one turn green there, or you can go all the way back to the very start of the track and progress all the way through. And I would always suggest, even on the very first run, get yourself to the end. Doesn't matter whether you've had 50 faults or 100 faults or just a couple. Get yourself to the very end, get used to the track. It's no good knowing exactly what you want to do at the start and then being no good at the end. So as you've just seen, we've come down that really steep slope again. Being able to flip the bike gets you down there a lot faster. And what I would always suggest people to do is to actually go and watch replays of other players playing, because there will always be quicker and faster ways that you can do things that you hadn't thought about trying. So try and keep that in mind when you're actually looking to better your times and beat your times. Go and look at the replays of what your friends have done. There may be little bits you think, that's how you get that bit done quicker, and that's how you get a little bit faster. The maps do move, as you can see. We've got the monster truck rolling down the hill here, so it adds another little dimension into it. It's not just going up and down slopes and over items. You've got to consider that items can be pushed and pulled, as you can see here. So what looks, well, how am I going to get past this part now? You again knock them down and you move on to the next section. Again, like I said earlier, it's really crucial to play the whole map through, because then you'll know where these items are. When you come back to give yourself a really good time, you'll be prepared and ready for them. This next map, I've popped it in here as part of the collection, purely because it just demonstrates really nicely how Redlynx are able to sort of vary up the types of tracks that you're going to be playing. Obviously this is a bit of a throwback kind of to the early sort of 80s Commodore 64 sort of very basic gaming, but it's brilliant. You don't know which parts of the map move, you don't know whether certain items you're going to hit or whether you're going to go past them. Again, you can see the balls coming up here. As you get close to her, you get the trigger, and then it moves, and again you'll be careful it doesn't knock you off. You've got a ramp to go up over here. This part of the bridge now swings and moves, so again it just adds a totally different sort of feeling to the actual game itself. Now then, for the hard tracks, they throw in a slightly different dimension to this part of the game now, where, as you can see there in the background, you've got that red barrel. So any part of the bike itself or the rider that touches any of those red barrels, there's torpedoes and missiles and various other items that'll cause you to blow up. It'll cause you to explode, causing you to have a fault, and obviously potentially ruining your time. So now you can't just roll back and touch the floor. You've got to make sure you get over the obstacles, and you've got to make sure that you get there safely without touching the floor. Otherwise it goes bang. As we've seen earlier in the video, you'll actually be able to choose two different types of bikes for the harder missions. So you've got two 250cc bikes, and it'll obviously be worth trying to give both bikes a go. You may find that this bike that I've got on the screen now is too bouncy, it's too difficult to achieve a really good time, and actually switching out bikes can let you complete a certain level, especially on the harder ones, in a much quicker time, or being able to achieve them all together. And I've thrown this clip in here because I've come back and played this game and got some footage for this video, and I've actually improved my time by over 3.5 seconds with no fault. So it just goes to show practice does really make perfect on this game. So once we've completed these hard levels now, again I'm just going through and showing you all the extra bonus bits, and even I haven't got golds and silvers on some of these levels. Now for a bike Pacific track, so this is only available for the donkey. It's not going to set the world alight for its fastest times or easy control, and you'll see in Trials Fusion in a minute that they do continue to put this bike back into the game, but it is 100% fun factor. So much fun just messing about on this bike. Key to this bike is keep it going. As soon as you slow down, it gets really hard to control. The final difficulty level available on Trials HD is Extreme. So my most favourite level on this whole game has got to be Brown Boxers. Absolutely adore this level. It's one of those levels that when you finish for the very first time, you feel really good about yourself, because it's difficult. It's not an easy track to get over. All of the elements that you've learned from playing the beginners and the easy, the mediums and the hards, you really have to put into practice. As you'll see here, there's lots of little techniques that you're going to have to learn to actually get yourself over, to get yourself under, around, and certain things you're going to look at when you get to them and you think, how am I going to get over there? Just keep practicing, keep getting there, and as your bike skills get better, as your speed gets better, as your control gets better, you will be able to get yourself all the way to the end, and it's absolutely sweet when you do finally get there. So that's my brief insight into Trials HD. Hopefully you've enjoyed that and you've got a little bit of information out of how the game works, the types of tracks that you're going to come across, the sort of bike selection you can get, the different techniques that you can give a go to finish the game. And if you haven't gone out and bought it and tried it, then I'd definitely recommend you going to do it, because I had so much fun, especially when your friends and your mates and your family get involved. You complete a track or you set a really good time with no faults, and they'll spend hours trying to beat you, and again somebody else will probably set a faster time than you on another level, another track, and it's great fun trying to beat that, and the satisfaction you get when you do is absolutely fantastic. So like I say, that brings my review of the Trials HD game really to a close. So coming up next, we've got Trials Fusion, which was released, believe it or not, 2004, so coming up sort of 5 years ago now. Again, it brings in lots and lots of different elements, which I hope Trials Rising, when it comes out in a few hours time, starts to really build on and deliver. It breaks it up a little bit differently. This game doesn't set out easy, medium and hard and extreme. It sets out different arenas, so you're going to have a forest arena, a space arena, and so into that they have then built easy and medium and hard and extreme tracks. You've also got another feature in this whereby you've got multiplayer, which I'll show you a little bit at the end. So again, if you've got a friend around, you can plug in another controller and you can play a range of different levels with each other, trying to beat each other. So that's really good fun. And the other part that they've brought into this is the FMX, so it gives you the ability to do different skills, so you can actually pull different types of tricks off jumps, and lots of other sort of aspects to the game itself. So on screen now you can see the different events that are available, the different types of arenas that are going to be playable. Obviously each map, inside each arena in each event is specific to jungles or deserts or snow, ice, that sort of thing. Again, you can see here that you've got mediums and hards and different difficulties built in. So working through the different bikes, again, there's lots of different bikes on offer. The Foxback is what you use for the FMX, and again you can see the four-wheel drive quad bike. I've put a little bit of gameplay in here just to show you that in use. Again, there are specific tracks you can use on other tracks, and it can be really advantageous to get in those faster times. However, it is a little bit slower in certain areas. The control is a little bit harder. You don't get quite the same sort of ability to flip or catch back wheels. The Rabbit, fun little bike, a little bit like the Donkey. It's a bike that you can use again to finish maps. However, you're not going to get the fastest times out of it. And one little tip for you, just to throw it in there, is that if you pedal downhill, it acts kind of like a brake. So as you can see here, it goes quite slow and you almost think, I'm not going to make the jump. However, here, when I don't pedal, you can see it gives you a lot more speed. The Donkey, as I said, makes a return back into the game again. A little tip with this one is to keep the speed up. As I'm going here, keeping it nice and quick, keeping it nice and smooth, and it's not too hard to use. As soon as you slow down, however, or you get to a part where, like here, and it really does stop, it becomes very difficult to control, and even getting it going again can be really difficult. But again, once you get the speed up, as you see, it then becomes a lot more controllable. The Unicorn, one item that I haven't shown in this video, it is available on some of the later tracks, on some of the DLC parts. Again, a little bit like the other two bikes I've just shown, it's kind of a gimmick. It's not really the sort of the central part of this game. On screen here you can see one of the I believe one of the harder maps. as with the other game, as with HD, you can actually see how the map itself starts to move and start to evolve. But what I really love about this, and what I'm sure that it'll return in Trials Rising, is you've got a depth to that map. You've got a background now, whereas before you were inside, you were in warehouses. Now there's a whole depth to each map. Some maps are, like I say, quite bright, some maps are quite dark, so there's lots of extra sort of features built into this that just sort of bring you back into sort of the depth of the game. And with before on HD, the end part of each map, you die in different manners, so rather than skipping out, it's always well worth watching exactly how Redlynx has decided your character is going to die at the end of that particular map. One thing I will say, guys and girls, when you're playing this game, is that when you start to try and beat your times and improve on your times, there can be a huge amount of frustration. I've popped this clip in, and it's going to be one of those sort of controller bashing moments where you start to really build up your time. You can see the ghost on screen, which is a nice feature they added into this, and you can start to really build your speed, build your times up, and you can be going along and you think, oh, I'm quite close to beating my ghost, and there are parts where you think, yeah, I'm about to beat my ghost, and then it all goes completely to pot. You know, here got some really good transitions, got the speed going, the finish line is literally just up ahead, one bad bounce and you don't make it, and I'm 5 seconds up with no faults. So it can be really frustrating. Like I said earlier, there are extra features in this game that weren't in the in Trials HD. One of the big things is the track central, so this allows you to play tracks that have been created by other players outside of Redlynx. Phenomenal, thousands and thousands and thousands of tracks. I mean, 181,000 tracks available. Again, they are rated medium, hard, extreme, etc. So it's a great way of expanding the game. There's no cost to that. You could literally go in, download the map you like, give it a go. If you don't like it, you delete it. If you do, give it a like, leave any comments on there. On here you see now with the local multiplayer, again, like I said earlier, it allows you to plug another controller in, and so you can have up to 4 people playing. There's a range of different maps, and it does cycle through them, so you don't always play the same maps. It acts kind of like a competition where you can have sort of 2, 3, 4 different tracks, or you can go even further, so you make it a competition. When you complete the map, if you come first, you get some number of points, which is then deducted by how many faults it took you to complete. So that's my review of Trials Fusion. The latest game, Trials Rising, comes out in just a couple of hours, like I said earlier, so I'm really looking forward to that. I will be releasing a video tomorrow with my first initial thoughts and review of the game, and I'm hoping to make a little mini series of probably 5 or 6 videos that will show you my progression through the game, what sort of times I've been getting, again, what I really like about it, and what I find could maybe sort of, a bit of improvement needed. So that'll be dropping in tomorrow into your inboxes, so if I could get you to pop a like rating on this video, that would be much appreciated. This is my very first video on YouTube, so again, a subscribe if you can, because that would be really helpful to the channel. Leave any comments, much appreciate any comments that you guys would leave. Go gentle with me, like I say, it is my very first video, but I much appreciate you taking the time to come and watch this, and I will catch up with you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Cheers now. Bye.